Hi guys, I wanted to do something a little bit different for you today. There are a ton of lenses available. I've got some of them here. I've bought like quite a few of the lenses, and you know, I've got like 5 helmets behind me as well. You know, I've tested out a lot of these multiple times in different conditions because the Ruroc system of changing lenses is very, very easy. I probably shouldn't have bought as many lenses as I have, but I want to kind of give my opinion on some of these lenses, which ones you should buy, which ones you probably shouldn't, and any other considerations that you need in order to choose the right lens for you. So let me know if this video helps, and let's get on with it. Hi, I'm Gareth, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, check out my other videos on Ruroc helmets. I will leave a couple of links below. I'm a skier based in Switzerland, and I've been using Ruroc helmets now for about 3 seasons, and I love them, which is kind of the reason why I have like a few of them, plus a ton of lenses, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. Just as a disclaimer, I haven't received anything from Ruroc for free. I haven't been asked to make this video. I'm not being paid by Ruroc. All of these opinions are my own, and I just kind of love the product. That's why I've kind of bought quite a few things on there. But I want to talk about lenses today, because if you either have a Ruroc helmet at the moment or you're thinking about buying one, there's a good chance you're probably looking at the amount of lenses that are available on their website going, right, how many, what do I need? How many of them do I need to buy? You know, are they worth it? Okay, let's get into this. So let's start with some of the basics. On ski goggles, even on the Ruroc helmets, you will have an S value for the lenses. Now this ranges between 0 and 4. 0 meaning that it lets in a lot of light, and then it goes up in stages from S1, S2, S3 and S4. And at S4 it lets in, it's a darker lens and lets in less light, so I think it's about 8% or something like that. And typically all of the Ruroc lenses will fall into one of these categories, and they vary by darkness. And this is what an S0 lens looks like. It's completely clear. There is no tint on this whatsoever. And some of you might be thinking, well, what do you use this for? Well, basically, if you have a if you ski at nighttime, so it's like a floodlit environment, this is a great lens for that. If you skateboard on the streets at nighttime and you want a lens to you know, stop you getting flies in your eye or something like that, also a great lens for that. Any other use in terms of skiing or snowboarding, you know, it's a little bit too bright. There's a lot of glare from the snow, so even after you know, when you're in the shade or something like that, this is probably too bright for you. This is what a S1 lens looks like. This is the yellow Ruroc lens. It looks a bit like this when I put it on. But essentially this increases contrast. It's a fairly bright lens as well. You can use this in pretty bad conditions. It's actually one of my favorite lenses to go to. The yellow enhances the contrast enough so you can still see where you're going, even in like cloudy conditions. And they've improved this with NASTEK technology more recently, which I'll talk about in a minute as well. An S2 lens looks a bit like this. It's a little bit darker. It's still pretty see-through, but this is kind of the orange S2 lens for low light conditions. If it's particularly cloudy or snowing in that day, you know, you see a lot of people wearing these types of lenses. Personally, I don't like it as much as I like the yellow lens. For me, the yellow lens is actually better in bad conditions. This is not bad, I just prefer the yellow. Some people prefer orange. It's kind of really up to you. So this is an S3 lens. This is the S3 lens that I got with my Viper from the 2018 collection. I have another Viper, in fact, let me show you what that looks like. So I have another Viper which is a slightly different color, a bit weird. I quite like this one though, and that's an S3 lens, so even darker. It's actually really good in most conditions. Most of the Ruroc helmets will come with an S3 lens, I believe, unless it's a limited edition. Some of those come with an S4 lens, but it will say so on the website anyway. Typically this will work really well when it's kind of sunny, cloudy, a bit intermittent. Works pretty well in bright sun as well. It's just only in the really, really bright conditions it's not as good, but to be honest, you know, if you're going to have one lens, this is kind of a good one to go with. Not the Viper as such, but just an S3 lens. So this is what an S4 lens looks like. This is actually a Titan lens, which is gold in color and literally the darkest lens you can get. So you can't see through there, which means that you can stare at people with your helmet and they don't even know you're looking at them. But really though, this is for the brightest conditions. It's not so good when you hit the shade. So my girlfriend likes to ski in an S4 lens the whole time. For me, as soon as I get into the shade or into like trees, even on the brightest of days, I really struggle to kind of see what the snow is doing and that kind of thing. My visibility is not great with this in the shade, but you know, for that really, really bright bluebird day, or if you're glacier skiing or something like that, this is a great lens, and it comes in like a few different colors as well. So when you're looking at a lens, have a look at the S value first, figure out what you ski or skate in most, and then adjust kind of the S value of the lens that will suit your kind of way of riding more. The other thing is that they come in a number of colors. So this is my Viper lens, which I just showed you. This is an Inferno lens. Both of these are an S3 value. They do and perform exactly the same on the snow. It just depends on what you prefer in terms of color that matches your helmet or your outfit. So for instance, like my gunmetal gray helmet, I prefer to use this one. On my Viper, I prefer to use this one just because the color matches. But other than that, they're pretty much the same lens. So you just choose the color that you want to go to. It doesn't really make a difference on the S3 and S4 lenses. On the low light lenses, it's a matter of preference in terms of which one you get. So both of these are an S2 lens. This one's a black one, this one's an orange one. The orange one does enhance the contrast a little bit more, whereas the black one is just a lighter version of an S3 or an S4 lens. When you get to the S1 lenses, you know, again, it's a matter of preference. I prefer the yellow. I've also tried the rose lens as well. I prefer the yellow. Some people prefer rose, or I think there's a red as well. But that's just a matter of preference. They do basically do the same thing. The color will just kind of give you a it depends on your eyes, I guess. So there's a couple of other things that you need to look at when you're buying a Ruroc lens as well. So again, I've got two lenses here that are both S2. I don't know whether you can see the difference on the video. It's definitely noticeable when you're looking through each of these lenses, but this is an old S2 lens, yellow, and this is one of the new NASTEK lenses. The NASTEK lenses, when you look at it, you can see like a blue tint on them, and basically they stop the transmission of blue light, enhancing the contrast a lot more. And you know, I bought this lens this season because I just kind of like went, right, I'm not sure whether this is actually just some marketing BS or whether it actually makes a difference, and it really does make a noticeable difference. So haven't used this all season, but the NASTEK lenses do make quite a bit of a difference, so worth just making sure you get one of those. I don't think they sell the normal lenses anymore, but the NASTEK lenses are pretty cool, so have a look at that. Something they've introduced this year, which I'm like really happy about, because I've always used polarized lenses, and Ruroc have introduced these to the line as well. There are available in a number of colors. They're an S3 lens as well, but polarized lenses typically take out a lot of the glare that you get on very, very bright days. So if you are a fair weather skier, maybe that's worth doing. One thing I will say, particularly on this lens, is that the polarization creates some really funky colors. So you'll kind of, I don't know, it's like, I guess it's like being on an LSD trip. I've never done LSD, but I'm guessing that's a bit what it's like. So it's not like it's a bit weird. I can't really explain it. But yeah, you get like weird kind of colors off of reflections and that kind of thing where the polarization kicks in. Really cool lens though, and I typically use that for a really bright day. So there is like one particular lens that they introduced this year that is hands down my go-to lens for most of my weekends this year. I bought this lens at the beginning of the season, I think in their Black Friday sale, and when I got it, I was completely surprised by it. It's actually this one, which you know, hopefully this will start. I don't think the light's bright enough for it to change, but it's actually it's a transition lens, and it's amazing. Most days I just have this in, so it's really cool. It just gets darker as the day gets brighter. It lightens back up again if the weather turns bad. What I will say is that in particularly cloudy, bad conditions, you know, it's a bright lens, but it doesn't give you the contrast that say like a yellow lens from the kind of S1 lenses will do. But I think that this will go between S0 and S3. So only like the really, really brightest conditions, you don't really, it doesn't filter out enough light. But typically I go with this more than any other lens that I've ever bought. This lens is more expensive than any of the other lenses that Ruroc do. In my mind, it's completely worth it. As I say, I've probably, in all of the weekends that we've done this season, skied in this one maybe 95% of the time. It's really good. Oh, there is one other thing that I need to mention. This is a pair of goggles that I got with my limited edition that I bought a couple of years ago. And this is the goggles that I bought with my helmet last year. There is a little slight difference in the fastening system for the lenses in this. So if you have a helmet that is a little bit older, just check the clips here. If the clip is kind of, I don't know how you kind of straight. So on the newer lenses, there's like a, I don't know if you can see that there. I'm trying to get in the light. It's a little bit different. Can you see that? I don't know. It's like a black lens, so it's probably not so visible. But on the actual clipping system, they've modified that slightly last year. I think that probably is the same as it is for the 2018-19 helmets. But what it means is that the lenses from the newer lenses don't quite fit these properly. Let me show you what I mean. So on the newer lens frame, it snaps into place as normal and it clips in. You can hear that clip. Now if I take this lens, I'm just going to switch arms here. I take this lens and I put it on one of the older sets of goggles. It fits perfectly like this, but the clipping system doesn't actually click. which means that these are flapping around a little bit. What that means is that actually, you can ski perfectly well with these. The only problem is that when you go to take the goggles off and the frame bends a little bit, there's a chance that they might pop out. So just be aware of that. I'm gonna try and get another black frame, I think, this year for my other helmet, because I don't think they sell the clips by themselves. So just something to watch out for. The wrong way around. The new goggles versus the old goggles. The clips are slightly different. This is kind of the helmet that I've been sporting that I bought last year. If there is anything else that you want to know, just drop me a question below or on my Instagram, which I'll put up over here somewhere. And then just maybe I'll make another video if enough people are asking the same question. But I hope that was helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. As I said, any questions, just leave a comment and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this content. But thank you so much, and I will see you at the next one.